Yes, sir. Whenever I read news like that, I get so doggone excited that I... Say, what's the matter? Don't news like that mean nothing to you fellas? Well, it means a whole lot to me. Yeah, and I'm a Texaco dealer just like the rest of you fellas. Of course, maybe I ain't so young and good-looking as that buckaroo in the fifth row there. And maybe I ain't so prosperous-looking as that gent in the brown suit over on the left. Yes, you heard me, mister. But I'm doing all right. Doing better and better every year. With all this defense money being spent, this year ought to be the best of all. Now, this paper says that the national income went up $4 billion last year, and they expect it to go even higher this year. Somebody's calculated that the average family income is going to be $280 to $300 more this year than last. And boy, that ain't hay. Maybe you think the same as I did at first. Maybe it just don't seem reasonable that there could be $200 to $300 more for each working man coming into your town and mine. But shucks, that ain't necessary. It maybe takes only a few $1,000s more coming into town because it gets to be more income for different people passing around from hand to hand. Now take Mr. Richards, a customer of mine. He's just been made superintendent down at one of the plants. He's got some extra money and he calls in Joe Mullins, the carpenter, to fix the back steps that his wife's been complaining about for months. Joe, he gets some extra money from working steady and some overtime for people like Richards, and he goes to George Moffett down at the hardware store for some new tools. We got more than one carpenter in town, so George Moffett sells a lot more tools and things. He makes enough more out of his store so that he turns in his car, gets himself a new one. Jed Whalen, who sells him that car, he spends the commission he gets down to the Reliable store for some new shirts and some toys for his kids. And Jed Whalen, he sold George Moffett his new car because he got there first. And his company is way out in front advertising their car in all the magazines and billboards all around town. Now, speaking of advertising, you know, fellas, I was over chewing the fat with Ned Billings, who's got a place right opposite my station. It was on Friday, and it seemed to me that we was interrupted about every 2 minutes by somebody coming in and putting down a dime and taking up a copy of Life. Well, it got to be annoying, you know, business interfering with pleasure that way, so I said to Ned, say, Ned, you got to sell that whole pile of magazines before we can get a word in together? And then Ned got to telling me that happens almost every day in the week. He starts out the day with a great big pile of magazines. On Tuesdays, it's Saturday Evening Post. On other days, it's Collier's and Time and Newsweek and Life. A great big stack like that of each of these weeklies. And I remembered how every morning our mailman cusses about the load he's got to carry. Calls this the readinest town. Always complaining about all the magazines he's got to deliver every day. And I got to thinking about lads like little Johnny Myers next door, who's always selling and delivering magazines so as he'll earn a baseball bat or a pair of roller skates. Come to